I just want to say, I absolutely love Seth Rogen. I worked with him for 20 years. We didn't have one fight.
You're kidding.
For 20 years, not one.
How does a
fight.
guy
He
go
was
from
my
being one of the most popular
absolute
faces in the
closest
movie
work
business
friend.
to being
How does a guy
forgotten
go-
by
what he said
everyone,
is true.
even his
You
own
know,
best
we aren't
friend?
working together
In the
right now.
2000s
Don't
and
have
early
to play
2010s, James
Of course
Franco
it
was
was
happy to
hurtful,
put someone
in
in
the
a
context,
situation
but
where they're around
I
someone
get
like
it.
James Franco. He also explained that he has two regrets,
had to
saying,
answer for
I
me,
do look
'cause
back
I
at
was
the joke
silent.
I made
He
on
had to answer
SNL
for
in
me.
2014, and I very much regret
I don't
making
want
that
that.
joke. It was a terrible joke, honestly, and I also look back to that interview in 2018, explained that where I commented that I would keep working arguably more harmful. And the truth is, I have a set, and I don't plan to right now. Later that year, Franco did an interview where he finally opened up about everything that happened, including where things are at with Seth.
Used it. Whatever happens, because
whatever happens between two consenting
I
adults.
had girlfriends.
Fine,
Like that's what he could
said.
never be faithful.
The problem
to me.
was,
I
you're right.
cheated. I
Completely
cheated on
took
that.
blind to.
He's
and
like
I
ran
ran
for
for
anything
the
like
cheating,
that,
but also
used it is
completely
dishonest.
blind
I
to
don't think
that's
that's fair.
feelings.
The
The behavior
But
spun out to a point where it was
you're
like
not
all
dating
over the
someone,
place,
and it was like,
well,
I was hurting everybody.
we're being honest.
That perception and why would
Completely
completely
he was asked about
blind
the
to
sex abuse class he
dynamics
held
or
at
anything.
Studio 4, as well as the allegations
You know
that
what?
the school was
I
used
was in
as
a
a pipeline of young
I'll
women
admit,
to
with a
sexually
student,
exploit.
and I shouldn't have.
Why
I
would
did
Franco
someone
coming
have
out and
student-
revealing all of
at least-
this
You know
was
what?
unexpected.
With anybody
to
in
say
that
the least.
particular class,
You've got to
thing
remember,
with
this
a
was
student
almost 4
over the course
years
of my
after
teaching.
Franco coming
allegations
out
was
and
made.
revealing all of
And for
this
the
was
most part,
unexpected
there were
after
certain
the
instances where
release. You've got to remember, this was almost 4 years after the initial allegations. We had 20 great years of most part, but I guess trying to make somewhat of a not for a lack of trying. It was good they told him how much smaller scale, despite it being so late. James Franco played Fidel Castro trying to make somewhat of a cautionary tale of how human roles despite the cost decision. He had it all. Big movie. He set during Fidel Castro to best one in variety, but his actions explained that he's made despite the cost he makes to come back met and he responded damage during an October 2024 interview on Variety. He explained that he's made peace with everything that happened, and he responded to being asked if he's still in touch with Seth Rogen, saying, "No, I haven't talked to Seth. I love Seth. We had 20 great years together, but I guess it's over, and not for a lack of trying. I've told him how much he's meant to me." James Franco went from Hollywood's golden boy to a cautionary tale of how quickly fame can disappear. He had it all. Big movies, awards, and a best friend by his side. But his actions cost him everything. Whether he makes a comeback or not, the damage to his career and relationships is done.
Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher who lived in the second half of the 19th century. He was physically sick most of his life and spent his last years almost unconscious due to a mental breakdown. In spite of this, he gave great insights into the world of human psychology, including what it means to live a good life. For him, a good life doesn't mean comfort and pleasure. It means mainly a life in which you live authentically and freely, following your own values and aspirations. His most famous books are Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Beyond Good and Evil, The Birth of Tragedy, and The Twilight of the Idols. Nietzsche is considered a precursor of existentialism, a philosophical school of thought which highlights the importance of freedom and finding meaning in a meaningless world. According to existentialism, life has no meaning by itself. It only has the meaning we give to it. Also, it is in our power to make the best out of this life, and perhaps there is no other more famous philosopher than Nietzsche, who emphasized the importance of putting our will in the actions we take in life and how to make the best out of it. To help you understand how to live a good life, here are 9 lessons we can learn from the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche. Number 1. Focus on real life. Nietzsche said, "There is not enough love and goodness in the world to permit giving any of it away to imaginary beings." Nietzsche was one of the strongest advocates against Christianity and against believing in metaphysical realities, in something that cannot be perceived with our senses, and in something that doesn't have a physical presence. He was the one who famously declared, "God is dead," pointing out that from now on, it is our responsibility to give life a meaning. In Twilight of the Idols, Nietzsche described how previous philosophers who considered the physical reality an illusion or the shadow of another reality were wrong. He pointed out that any other reality besides what we can perceive through our senses cannot be proven. Moreover, to fabricate another world is considered by Nietzsche to be an act of defamation of this life. a sign we don't appreciate our reality and that we don't have enough willpower to make it as good as we want it to be. To really have a positive impact in this world, to make this world a little better, we need to focus on solving real-life problems and not to take refuge in imaginary worlds. And this is not possible without facing reality. For example, imagine you have a serious problem in your life, a significant amount of debt, and you can't find any way to pay it. Instead of taking refuge in alcohol, trying to forget about your problems, or praying that some angels will come and save you, you should find the courage to face reality and focus on how to solve your problems. Life is difficult enough. By escaping reality, you'll just amplify your problems and suffering and those of the ones you care about. We need to focus on real life, as it's the only way you'll be able to solve your life's problems and build a good life. Number 2. Live a meaningful life. Nietzsche tells us, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. For Nietzsche, life was particularly hard. As a young man, he got seriously ill shortly after he joined the Franco-Prussian War. Then later, he lost his job at university due to his disappointment with the institutionalized education, and also due to serious pain caused by his blindness, migraine, stomach pain, and so on. Then he was rejected by the women he loved, the Russian writer Lou Andreas Salome, who then went on to Berlin with one of Nietzsche's best friends, Paul Rieur. Then finally, at 44 years old, he suffered a mental collapse, spending his last years almost unconscious. In spite of his tragic life, he lived a life of meaning, being remembered as one of the most famous philosophers who praised life for what it is. He was a big advocate of the Greek concept, amor fati, a Latin phrase that may be translated as love of fate or love of one's fate. If Nietzsche, who, as we just mentioned, led a particularly difficult life, could do that, it is in the power of almost anyone to do it. No matter your situation, if you are able to find meaning in your suffering, you will be able to live a good life, a life of purpose. For example, imagine one of the worst situations you can be in, like losing your child due to a disease like cancer. You might think your life is already over, but if you're able to find a meaning, a purpose for your suffering, then you will in time feel more able to get up in the morning and face the day ahead. You might contribute to the fight against cancer through money or by volunteering campaigns to help those in need. Even though your personal suffering will always be a part of you, your outlook on life could improve knowing you've helped to prevent other people from suffering as you have. Number 3. Follow your own life goals. According to Nietzsche, to forget one's purpose is the commonest form of stupidity. For Nietzsche, no price is too high for the privilege of owning yourself. One of the main priorities you should have in life is to be careful not to be absorbed by your tribe. That is, not to follow what everyone else is doing. Try to find your own path in life, formulate your own values, and judge every situation through the filters of your own life experience and knowledge. Nietzsche was famous for his concept of the Übermensch, or superhuman. For Nietzsche, the superhuman is the goal of humanity itself. He represents the creation of new values of humanity after the death of God. The general qualities that such superhumans have is the way that they live independently of any tribe. They're self-sufficient and strong, creating and following their own code of values. For Nietzsche, human beings are a bridge towards the superhuman. Thus, the superhuman is an ideal we should always strive for. In order to become closer to this ideal, we can all work on becoming a bit more independent, a bit more goal-driven in life. For example, we shouldn't let our parents dictate the career we want to take in life, or get stuck in a job which might not be related with our goals at all, forgetting our main dreams in exchange for stability and an easy life. The main idea is to not get overwhelmed by others and try to find your calling in life. Formulate your life goals and follow them always. It's common to want to fit in and want other people to like you, but if those people cannot like you for who you really are, you will live a life full of lies, as you'll need to perpetually pretend that you're someone you're not. It's much better to live an authentic life, a life in which you can be yourself and live the life you want to live. Say, if you want to be a musician, don't enroll in medical school just because being a doctor is more praised in your parents' eyes. If you wish to have a lot of free time and to travel the world, don't take a 9-to-5 job, but rather pick a career you can do as a freelancer, for example, creating philosophy videos on YouTube, which gives you freedom, time, and enough money to travel. To live a good life, you need to live the life you want to live, a life in line with your personality and with your dreams. Number 4. Keep your mind open. In the words of Nietzsche, convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies. At some point in time, nearly everyone was convinced that the Earth was the center of the universe, or that man would never be able to fly. Some scientists even gave their life in the fight to prove that the Earth is not the center of the universe, like Giordano Bruno. And who knows what convictions the majority of people have today that will be proven false in the future. What is true today might not be true tomorrow, even in the scientific world. Nietzsche was very much against religious dogmas and against systems of belief in general. But equally, he was not very pro-science either. Nietzsche said that there are no facts, there are only their interpretations, meaning that we shouldn't take pride in knowing anything with certainty. Therefore, we shouldn't forget that what we see and think is just our limited interpretation of life, and that it is at best incomplete. To be open-minded is an essential quality we should have if we want to seek the truth about anything. If you have strong convictions, this will prevent you from seeking the truth about the world, about other people, to learn more and to develop yourself. Although this can make you feel more sure of yourself in some situations, in the long run it will affect your life significantly. Imagine that you're a middle-aged person running a business, and that you have the conviction that your type of business is too serious or industry-focused for being present on social media, that social media is too informal and frivolous for your business. Besides, you're not a fan of social media, and it's convenient for you to have such a belief. It can be easily proven that you're wrong and that you'll lose in front of a competitor whose presence is significant on many media channels. Being open-minded is not beneficial only for your personal and social life, but on many levels, including your career and finances. To live a good life, you need to develop yourself, your knowledge and skills, and this cannot be achieved without having an open mind. Number 5. Take care of your body. Nietzsche teaches us that there is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy. Nietzsche considered that philosophers don't pay enough attention to the human body, that their philosophical theories are disconnected from reality, and that what is real is what we directly experience through our body. For Nietzsche, everything changes, everything transforms without following a given logic. Nietzsche considered that there is no true unity and order in this universe, praising Heraclitus highly, who said that everything changes and that eternity is a child at play. Nietzsche considered that the only thing we have is our direct experience with this world, through our body. Your body always sends you messages regarding what it needs, what it fears, or when something is wrong. When your body is hungry, you feel the urge to eat, and you need to provide your body the food and drink it needs. The same with resting and sleeping, etc. You need to follow the optimal cycle to keep your body healthy. You need to rest and sleep when your body demands it, as much as you find possible. Don't follow the popular prescription to sleep 8 hours per night or eat 3 meals per day. We're all different. Your body might need more or less sleep than someone else's. Your body might need to eat less because you live a sedentary life, or might need to eat more because you have a very active life, and this will change over the course of your life. Then there's the case of regular overeating, to the point where we damage our health. In this case, Nietzsche would say that the solution is to not follow a diet, a prescribed regimen given by a nutritionist. He would say that getting unhealthy is not because we eat too much. The cause is our lack of will to live. The solution could be for people to increase their will to live, which will improve their vitality, get rid of depression, and learn to love their body and themselves more. In Nietzsche's view, once you understand this, you will automatically start making the right decisions for your body, and thus stick to healthy eating habits. He felt that the body is not only the instrument that carries us through the world, it is us, and we should take maximum care of it